Hello, this is Blue Joe Saunders, WBO middleweight champion of the world. Subscribe to Sport and Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
So Hughie Fury travelled over to Sofia in Bulgaria today to have his press conference with Kubrat Pulev, which will be for the official IBF final eliminator for the mandatory position for Anthony Joshua's IBF world title, or at least currently Anthony Joshua's world title. Who knows how September 22nd against Povetkin is going to go, of course, but let's all hope Joshua gets the job done. But either way, as I say, Hughie Fury, he went over to Bulgaria today and had the press conference with Kubrat Pulev. And straight away, just let me say, okay, I've been a little bit critical of Hughie in the past because I felt he was unwilling to travel, as in most notably over to New Zealand to fight Joseph Parker, and humble pie on me, because here he is, he's stepping up to a challenge that, let's be honest, he didn't have to take this. He's only just won the British Heavyweight title, where for me, I'm glad that that's exactly what he done, and I wouldn't have blamed him to have a fight or two defending his British title, maybe win it outright, that kind of thing. I wouldn't have blamed him for taking that route at all. It's all learning for him, as you know, he is very, very young. He's only 23 years old, and he's still got years ahead of him, and all the fights, everything's going to be a learning curve. And he's already had a world title fight, which in some ways maybe he took a little bit too early in his career, especially after this long layoff. But his last victory over Sam Sexton to win the British Heavyweight title proves he's way above British level. But as I said, I wouldn't have blamed him for taking on a couple more British level kind of fights to defend his title, to get that bit more experience in. But he has, of course, stepped in and up to take on a very, very dangerous Kubrat Pulev. And if that fight's not dangerous enough, it's going to be in Sofia in Bulgaria, in Kubrat Pulev's home country, where, let's be honest, Kubrat Pulev is a major A-level celebrity and superstar in Bulgaria. Does that mean that the judges can be swayed or rigged? Don't know, but there's a very high possibility. But Hughie Fury is stepping up regardless. Now, there were other people who had opportunities to take on Kubrat Pulev, but that didn't happen. First one was Dominic Brazil. He said, you know what, I think I've got a fight coming up with Wilder, so I want to keep that one as I have a guaranteed title fight. So Dominic Brazil pulled himself out. Then Dillian Whyte, he pulled himself out of it himself, because again, you know what, this whole 25% in negative favour, if you like, for the challenger against Kubrat Pulev, for me, is complete hogwash. Why on earth is Kubrat Pulev getting 75%? I don't get it. Exactly the same way he is with Hughie Fury. But either way, Dillian had other options. Obviously, he's looking at the WBC, and he ended up fighting Joseph Parker, which, to be honest, is a much bigger fight, and he got a hell of a lot more cash. 2, 3, 4 times more money than what he would have got taking on Kubrat Pulev, to only end up becoming a mandatory and getting a fight with Joshua anyway. So Dillian Whyte is always going to get a fight with Joshua. So him pulling out, that's fair cop. I don't have any kind of grumble to that one. Jarrell Miller, he pulls himself out, even though he's saying that, you know, he's willing to go to Bulgaria and blah, blah, blah. But then ultimately he did what I thought he was going to do, and a lot of people thought he was going to do, which was not fight Kubrat Pulev. And we knew that. Now, again, had he had a bigger fight, I wouldn't have blamed him, but he's fighting Thomas Adamek over in Chicago. Not a bad fight, but let's be real. You could have been official mandatory for Anthony Joshua, a guaranteed fight. One that, Jarrell Miller says that he wants, but he didn't do that. He pulled himself out and now fighting Thomas Adamek. Hughie Fury next in line, he accepts it. So big up Hughie Fury. As I said, I was critical of him pulling out against Joseph Parker when the fight was originally scheduled in New Zealand, and I wasn't too happy with the fact that he said no to Deontay Wilder as well about going over there. Again, this was a huge opportunity for Hughie Fury. Admittedly, it was very short notice, of course. And of course, Hughie also pulled himself out of negotiations to potentially fight Anthony Joshua around the Eric Molina kind of time. So I have been a little bit critical of Hughie, but I'm still a fan of Hughie, and I do believe that he is one for the future, no doubt about it. And him getting in there with Kubrat Pulev is absolutely insane. It really is. But anyway, they had their press conference today, and here are some of the quotes that they had. So Hughie Fury, his statement here. People might look at me and ask, what is he thinking fighting over there? It's such a risk. But that's not how I see it. For me, this is a massive opportunity, and I plan to make the most of it. A couple of guys in the division have ducked Pulev, and that tells you he's a dangerous opponent. Listen, I'm prepared to fight anyone, anywhere in the world, and these are the fights I want. I want big fights. I want to take over the heavyweight division. That's what I believe I can do. Fighting outside of the UK doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, there are only two people in the ring, so it doesn't matter where the fight is taking place. There's no pressure on my side. If anything, there's more pressure for him to perform in his own backyard. He's a good boxer and has lots of experience, but he has to bring it all when he faces me. I'm looking forward to the challenge. In my last fight against Sam Sexton, I didn't get out of second gear. This time, fans will see a different Hughie Fury. To all my fans who have supported me from day one, on October the 27th, you are going to see a spectacular performance, and it will be a brilliant night to remember. So that was Hughie Fury's statement there. He did go on about the Joshua Povetkin, so actually we might as well finish that bit off. Joshua will come through Povetkin, and that's the fight that I'm destined for. That's the fight I want, and I'll grab it with both hands. For now, I'm just concentrating on the fight with Pulev, and the rest will take care of itself. And Peter Fury, which is Hughie's trainer and father, also said this: we've been working on Hughie's strengths in training rather than worrying much about Pulev. We know what we're facing. Pulev is dangerous. He's an experienced fighter, but this is a fight that we all wanted. It's been a good camp so far, and the closer we get, Hughie will only improve and get better. Hughie has the tools to beat him, and as soon as the bell goes, he will be ready. So that is Peter Fury's statement. So both of them very confident, but of course you know what, you have to be confident, of course you do. But let's be real, Kubrat Pulev is dangerous. He is so underrated, it baffles me. It really, really does baffle me. Pulev has had opportunities to fight for the world title against Anthony Joshua on a couple of occasions. The last one he pulled out through injury, and before then he just blatantly said no. Okay, so there is a question about Kubrat Pulev's heart. Now, I think a lot of that is he's worried about pressure fighters. Anthony Joshua's a pressure fighter. Hughie Fury is a back foot fighter, but very, very good on the back foot. He can be very good offensively, as he showed against Sam Sexton. And had he thrown a couple more punches per round against Joseph Parker, I think we could have been looking at a different result on that one. I really rate Hughie Fury. I think he's a fantastic talent, and he's only going to get better as the years go on. But as I said to you before with Kubrat Pulev, there's one thing that I could really be negative about Kubrat Pulev is, while he's got an amazing jab, he can't throw the right hand without throwing the left first. So he does like a double left jab, then throws the right hand. He can't throw the right without throwing the left first. That's just how he is. So if Hughie Fury can get around that, then all the better. But as I said, for me, this has got points all over it. I can't really see Hughie knocking him out. It would be amazing if he did, and I really hope that he does. But I can't see him knocking him out, and to take it out of the judge's hands, that's pretty much what he's going to have to do. We've seen robberies in boxing so many times, and I've got a feeling this could well be one of them, unless Hughie puts on a dominant display. If he's going to go to points, he needs to make it look like there ain't no way in hell any judge is going to be robbing Hughie Fury of a victory that night unless they're on some kind of payroll. And Hughie can do that. He really can do that. Hughie is an amazing talent. As I said, against Joseph Parker, he was kind of negative. But I think a lot of that was down to the fact that he just got over his skin condition, his illness, and he's still coming through that even now, I think. But he'd been out the ring so long and very, very early on in his career. And let's be honest, the level of opposition that Hughie was fighting up to Joseph Parker were below British level. That's why I was happy that after Joseph Parker, he went back down to British level and took on like Sam Sexton. We all knew Hughie was going to win that one, but dominate him and stop him, there you go. For me, he's way, way above British level. Is he world level? Well, let's see. Kubrat Pulev is ranked highly in all of the sanctioning bodies, although for whatever reason, sometimes he's not and sometimes he is. It's almost like they forget that he's there. But he's been consistently ranked in the top 5 in all the sanctioning bodies for quite a number of years. So a victory for Hughie Fury. Big up. And of course, I'll be supporting him through thick and thin in this fight, and praying to God that he gets the result that I want, and of course him and Peter want, and Mick Hennessy and everybody else. And I really hope he does it. And as I said, his humble pie on me, because I did criticise him with the fact of unwilling to travel to New Zealand. I didn't really believe the injury, to be brutally honest, I didn't. But he is willing to travel, and he's going to go to Sofia. He's going to go to Bulgaria, to a guy who is stupidly popular in Bulgaria. You think Joshua was popular in the UK? Go to Bulgaria. Pulev is of the same kind of level in Bulgaria. Now, as I said, Hughie Fury is getting 25% of the purse. Kubrat Pulev 75. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. This is a final eliminator. Kubrat Pulev is not champion. It should be 50-50. But not only that does Kubrat Pulev get 75%, but he's getting home advantage as well. Complete gash. That's just my opinion. I rate Pulev very, very highly, and I believe Hughie can do this, but he's got to put on a master stroke. And we are talking shades of Ali, McKenzie. We are talking, that's what Hughie Fury is going to have to put on to get a victory over Kubrat Pulev. Can he stop him? Potentially, yes, but the odds are not really. But he can certainly outbox him and keep him at distance. There isn't too much height advantage or reach advantage in this one. There is a bit, but there's not enough to really be that telling. So Hughie is going to have to be on his toes. He's going to have to be on his back foot and aggressive at times to make Kubrat think twice about coming forward. But anyway, the fight is officially announced now. They've had their press conference over in Bulgaria in Sofia, and the fight will be the 27th of October over in there in Sofia in Bulgaria. You drop your thoughts below about this. Click that thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.